So when I was going through my own leadership coaching program in my time, I was literally in the middle of transition. So I was retiring out of the military. I was going in the corporate sector. A lot of leader development at that time. I had my bachelor's in organizational leadership. My master's from Georgetown is also in leadership, and then I was going through the coaching program. And I was just like, oh wow, this is amazing. And I was trying to figure out once again a way to serve people. And as I was in this program, and I've journaled my whole life, and the question of how do I journal always came up. It came up in my undergrad, it came up in my master's, it came up in the coaching. I was like, how do you not know how to journal? I didn't understand it. And then I was just like, oh man, I'm going to help people. So I'm going to write a guided journal. And then I was trying to find a leadership guided journal that I could use with my clients. There's journals, and I bought a ton of them. Like if it's out there, I bought a bunch of them, and I was looking at these journals, and I was like, okay, that's good. It wasn't what I wanted. What I wanted to add my clients, and so I was just like, I'm gonna create it, and so that's what I did. So it was like, hey, what is leadership? And it's like leadership is it how you communicate? Is it diversity and inclusion? Is it communication? Is it ethics? Is it character? Is it your personality? Is it so it's like all these different buckets. And so I asked myself, like, hey, what are all the different buckets that are out there? Kind of the primary ones. So I did a bunch of research. And so I essentially came up with, like, through my research, 12 top buckets. And as I work with now clients and companies with the journal, and they're using the journal within their company, I was like, hey, if a conversation comes up and they're like, well, I think it's power, there's no section on power, then I simply ask them the question of, where would you put power in those buckets? And they're like, oh, I'd put that under manager or leadership style. That's a great place to put it. And now you can journal. So the whole idea is just to get the person thinking and unpack their own internal wisdom. And so that's what I did. It's a 12 section. There's a coaching arc in it. So I've used the coaching. We call it a coaching arc. So a way to ask questions, to open things up, to really explore the middle, and then to wrap things up, to make it goal oriented, to move the individual from knowing and exploring themselves to then doing and applying in their own life. And then I have a little teaser. I call it a push and pull. So the push is a little bit of tell. So it's a 1 to 1.5, 2 page of what that topic is. Like, what's the distinction between culture and climate? So I wrote very broad, just to get the individual thinking, and then they go into their journaling.